Prior to the Florida Keys Natural Marine Sanctuary, the third largest coral barrier reef in the world, two marine sanctuaries existed in that area, the Key Largo Sanctuary and the Luau Key Sanctuary. Through the combination and expansion of these two sanctuaries, the new 2,900 nautical mile Florida Keys Natural Marine Sanctuary was created. It was designated as a protected area when George W. Bush signed the bill, Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary and Protection Act, into law on November 16, 1990. Stakeholders include the FWC and the DEP, as well as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, who continue to manage the sanctuary. The PA was not contested and no evictions took place in order to establish it. It was created due to mounting concerns of water quality and health of sea life in the area, especially the live coral. Some of these threats still exist today, and other threats have become apparent as well. Here are
the direct threats to the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary are water pollution, urban development, overfishing, and tourism. Water pollution occurs from many different sources, such as land-based runoff, atmospheric sources, boat spills, and even pollution being deliberately dumped into the ocean. This causes the water to become harmful to the life that depends on it. Coral reefs need clean water to survive, and when pollutants are in the water, this smothers the reefs and speeds up the growth of damaging algae. Water pollution also exposes reef to disease that can hinder the coral's growth and reproduction, which can lead to changes in the food structures of the reef. An indirect cause to water pollution is runoff from stormwater, which carries pollutants from factories and other chemicals into the ocean. Industrial history has influenced the increase of water pollution over the years, with factories irresponsibly dumping their waste, causing it to run into the Atlantic Ocean, has done significant amount of damage to the coral reefs and fish population.
These direct and indirect threats are a continuous challenge for Florida Keys to manage. Sustainable use limits such as permitting is a primary way to balance research, recreation, and conservation. Regulation enforcement on a sanctuary-wide basis has also been critical to managing threats. The sanctuary has the rights to enforce the laws of the PA through a cooperative enforcement agreement between the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the state of Florida. Enforcement assists the park in managing threats such as tourism and overfishing. The sanctuary also relies on monitoring and evaluation procedures such as the Water Quality Protection Program, started in 1995, recommends how to maintain and restore ideal water quality. 154 sites are collected within the sanctuary, focusing on water quality, seagrass meadows, and coral reefs through the measurement of water temperature, salinity, and dissolved oxygen. As well, the Coral Reef Evaluation and Monitoring Project has 109 stations being assessed by scientists to record the number of species per station and identify benthic organisms. Marine zoning is a final way the sanctuary manages threats throughout the area, specifically tourism and overfishing. Zoning allows for protection of sensitive areas while balancing consumptive activities of the public. The zones include ecological reserves, sanctuary preservation areas, wildlife management areas, existing management areas, and special use areas. While the goals of each zone are different, the activities prohibited include discharging any matter except cooling water or engine exhaust, fishing by any means, touching or standing on living or dead coral, or anchoring on living or dead coral. Researchers are able to monitor abundance and size organisms inside and outside the zones to measure these success. Billy Causey, the Southeast Regional Director for the Office of National Marine Sanctuaries, stated, "These are small areas, but they play a huge role in conservation and protection. It's a tremendous example of how marine spatial planning can be used to resolve conflicts between different user groups." He also states that no-take zones had increased the size and quantity of marine life.
Zoning is a crucial part in being able to take care of a park, and the sanctuary management didn't just throw it out there for no reason. As stated by the FKNMS management plan, successful sanctuary management relies on a well-informed public who understands their role in overall management of the sanctuary. Effective community education is crucial to every protected area to gain support and receive funding. Not only does this education help with funding, it has the possibility to diffuse these threats entirely. The FKNMS has done an incredible job integrating itself into the school programs, tour industry, recreational fishing industry, and public studies. However, it remains difficult to educate larger companies and the general public. Although education can be an amazing deterrent of threats, without adequate policing, education will be forgotten. There are laws in place that can fuel policing ability, and the FKNMS management system has established no discharge zone for state waters in the sanctuary. There are also a lot of problems with the algae that is growing at an extremely fast rate due to dumping. There are several laws that restrict what kind of dumping you can and cannot do, but these are not upkept properly, therefore solving nothing. An extreme case of this is Okeechobee River. Each company that partakes in the polluting the water could be slightly increasing the amount that they can dump over time without receiving consequences because they are not being monitored or regulated. If it is not regulated, the people may not be able to notice flow changes. Some might just see the effects as normal. This is defined as shifting baseline and can cause problems in gaining support for the matter at hand. Becoming aware of shifting baselines can make a huge difference in the sanctuary's sustainability, and these shifts take place over a long amount of time and are not restricted to human pollution. As discussed, coral reefs are extremely susceptible to shifting baselines. This means that when a tourist comes to a site, they will not see the differences that may be taking place. Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary has pulled its assets together to manage against its rising threats, and overall it's working. Through zoning, evaluation, and administration, the sanctuary has started to manage against the growing threats of tourism, overfishing, water pollution, and urban development. Although they are on the right track to make the changes we need to make, we are a long way from making the world's third largest barrier reef sustainable.